What's up everybody? Welcome back to another one of my videos. I got some feedback recently that you didn't really like the one-sided conversations, and let me just explain. A big reason why I was doing those is because so many people were asking me the same question over and over again, and they were asking to talk to me. So I figured I'd set up these one-on-one consultations with people, I'd answer all of your questions, and then I'll just post these videos in the hopes of answering your questions. And actually I've gotten a lot fewer questions, I've gotten a lot fewer repeat questions. So I think the videos genuinely helped, but I understand if you are a repeat viewer, the videos might have gotten kind of boring. So I'm gonna switch it up today, and I'm gonna try to stay away from those one-on-one consultation videos. I'm gonna try to give you more original content, more useful content, and if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I got started showing my QuickBooks, showing my trucking company profit and loss. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Today I'm gonna talk all about my numbers for May. I'm gonna give you an inside look of an actual trucking company. I'm gonna show you my profit and loss. I'm gonna show you how much money I made, how much money I spent, and how much net income I had from running one tractor trailer for the entire month of May.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I...
Do you have questions about starting a trucking business? Box truck or CDL, I've done both. I can help you start your trucking business or grow your business so that you can buy more trucks. Use the link in the description to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. Now let's get to the video. We'll start off with a little bit of background information. For the whole month of May, I drove about 9,000 miles. I looked back at the calendar, there were 22 working days in May, Monday through Friday, 22 days. So 9,000 miles over 22 days. I drove on average about 400 miles. I wanna get those numbers up. I really wanna be driving 500 plus miles every day. But recently what I've seen, the longer hauls going 6, 7, 800 miles, they're just not paying as much. So what we've been forced to do is do a lot more loads that are like 150, 250, 300 miles, because that's where we're seeing the money. And interestingly, something I heard from one of the big logistics companies that I'm connected with in central Pennsylvania is that shippers and distributors, they're going away from trucking companies because it was so expensive in 2021 to move freight. They are sacrificing speed of delivery for decreased cost. So what they're doing is they're shipping their stuff with the railroad. They're paying half the price. It's taking twice as long, but they're willing to take twice as long to get somewhere if it means cutting costs. So, you know, they're paying like $1 a mile or $1.50 a mile to throw something on the rail. It's gonna take 10 days instead of 5 days to get there. But, you know, if they can spend $1 or $1.50 instead of $3 or $4 a mile, that's what I've heard people are doing. So that's why I've seen the long haul loads rate decrease significantly. Like before March, I was easily clearing $3.20 a mile. That's deadhead included. Total miles, not just loaded. But recently, I have honestly been struggling to get $2.80 per mile. And this is a 53-foot dry van. So I got tractor and trailer. It's not a reefer, it's not a box truck, it's not a sprinter van. This is a 53-foot dry van. But with that being said, I drove about 420 miles per day, and I averaged just above $3 a mile for my loaded miles. So my total revenue for last month, and I'm gonna try to put the numbers on the screen, but my total revenue for last month was just above $25,000. And $25,000 revenue over 9,000 miles total, 9,000 miles deadhead included, brings my rate per mile to like $2.75, which is not where I want to be. But if you have been hauling loads for the past couple months, you already know the rates have dropped from where they were in January, February. I'm just trying to survive the current market right now with diesel prices and labor shortages and the freight market. I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to break even. Hopefully we can get out the other side. So I pay my driver through a staffing agency, and they upcharge me a lot. But I'd rather have a driver I'd rather have an expensive driver versus not having a driver at all. So they upcharged me 58%. So my driver went 9,000 miles, and I ended up paying my staffing agency to pay my driver $7,000. And that's not with the upcharge included. So that comes out to be like 75 cents a mile. And what they told me is that they're including health insurance, workers' comp insurance, payroll processing fees, and payroll tax. So I'm paying my driver 58 cents per mile, but I'm paying them 75 cents per mile just for those 4 things. And then on top of that, I pay them like an additional $300 or $400 every week as like their cost. So long story short, I'm getting murdered by the staffing agency, but it was a necessity because I did not have a CDL driver when I got started. The good news is after 6 months, the driver will be completely mine. So he's gonna be an employee of mine. I'll run payroll, I'll pay workers' comp insurance, I'll get health insurance for him, and I will cut like 30, 40 cents per mile by getting rid of the staffing agency and hiring this guy on full time. Truck fuel, and I already said this, but I'm gonna try to put the numbers up on the screen. I'm not sure where yet, but fuel, so it's like a 1-to-1 ratio because fuel is $6 a gallon and my truck gets like 6 miles per gallon. Last month, I spent $8,500 on fuel, which is a little bit less than $1 per mile, but still, fuel is just absolutely killing us right now. Whenever I got started in 2021, fuel was $3.60 in Pennsylvania, which means it was probably $3.30 in the Midwest. If fuel goes back down to normal prices, my profits are gonna double. My profits might even triple. So that's why I said I'm literally just trying to survive. And if you're an owner operator, if you're a trucker watching this video, I would encourage you, try to stick it out if you can. Try to cut costs, try to cut your personal expenses if you can. Try to save money in the business. Just try to stick it out. I wouldn't give up just yet because what's gonna happen is the other owner operators who are not as successful, they're gonna quit. They're gonna give up. So as long as you can stick through this, as long as you can push forward and continue paying your bills and keep your business afloat, you're gonna come out the other end better, stronger, more equipped. The other owner operators who aren't as fortunate are gonna go away, and that means there's gonna be less of us, so hopefully brokers will start paying us more. So I would encourage you to stick with it, don't give up, try to push through these tough times. Other expenses I have, dispatch fees, so I pay my dispatcher 6%. And he pretty much does everything for me. So I'm very hands-off with my business. If you've been watching for a long time, you already know I pretty much don't really do anything other than the bookkeeping. And I submit my invoices for factoring, but that's really all I do. So my dispatcher, I pay him 6%. He finds me all my loads. He manages my driver. He tells him where to get fuel. If there's a flat tire, he calls roadside assistance. He does everything for me. So I've been with my dispatcher for over a year now, and he's a really great asset to my business. Factoring, so I actually renegotiated my factoring contract. I'm staying with Taft's despite all the negative things I've said about them. They're really not that bad, and I was able to renegotiate my contract, so now I'm only paying 2.5%, which is cool. I'm okay with that. I need a factoring company. If you don't need a factoring company, kudos to you. That's awesome, but I need a factoring company because I don't have $25,000 to front my accounts receivable. So unfortunately, I paid 2.5% to have them factor my loads for me. And I'm also using the fuel card that comes with the factoring company, and that's how I was able to get that extra discount. So if you have a factoring company, I recommend look into their fuel program and see if you can't get an additional 0.5% off, because that'll probably save you $5,000 or $10,000 over the course of 1 year if you can get an extra 0.5% off your factoring company. But last month I paid $800 for my factoring company. Interest. So I did take out a line of credit back in February to purchase the truck, and I leveraged my personal assets, which is incredibly risky. I would not recommend any of you do that, but I took out a loan for $45,000 against my personal assets. So every month I pay like $200 on my loan. It's over the course of 20 years, so I do anticipate hopefully paying that loan off much sooner than 20 years. For right now, for cash flow purposes, it's great. I'm only cash flowing $200 a month to pay off this loan, but only $50 of that is going towards principal, and $150 pretty much every month is going toward interest. So that loan isn't really decreasing at all, but it's enabling me to cash flow my business right now. So we'll see what happens. So job supplies. This is kind of interesting, and if you're a trucker, if you're an owner operator, let me know what you think about this in the comments. But my driver is persistent on weighing the truck like pretty much every single time. It's kind of frustrating for me. It's only $13, but he gets like 4 or 5 loads every week, and he's weighing it every single time because he wants to make sure that the axles are perfectly distributed. And if it's over by like 500 pounds, he'll move the axles and he'll reweigh it. So that's $13 plus $350 to reweigh the truck after he's adjusted the axles. I guess I'm happy that he's being cautious, but it's a little frustrating because it seems kind of unnecessary. But I haven't told him to stop because ultimately it is on him. If he does get pulled over and he's overweight, he could get a violation on his CDL. So I'm letting him continue to do it. But let me know in the comments if you guys weigh your load every single time and if you think it's a good idea or not. Other miscellaneous job supplies, I have an iPad, so that's like $40 a month for the iPad and for the internet service. That's where I have my GPS, and that's where he logs into the Keep Truckin' ELD, and that's where he scans all of his BOLs and he sends them to the dispatcher. Similar to the weigh station are showers and parking. And it's making me a little bit frustrated, but at the same time, I feel like as a trucking company employer, it is ultimately my responsibility. I'm not entirely sure if you're an owner operator and you're just a one-man business, or like you're the driver and the owner, you're just eating these costs. But my driver uses my corporate credit card like once or twice a week to take a shower. And I understand if you fuel up 50 gallons, you get a free shower, but we don't always fuel up at Love's or TA or Pilot Flying J. Like sometimes we go to other gas stations because we try to find the cheapest gas. So my driver doesn't always have enough points to take a free shower, so he uses my credit card, and it's like $14 a shower. He takes a shower like every 2 or 3 days. And then also parking. Like I guess if you get there too late to the parking lot, you have to pay for parking, but man, like $25 a night for parking, these weight tickets, $13 every time he gets a new load, and these showers every 2 days, like these little expenses. It's not a big deal because I only have one driver and one truck right now, but I'm gonna have to figure something out. And if you're an owner and if you're looking to expand and grow, and if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments, because I'm kind of trying to figure out how to negotiate this, because if I have 5 or 10 drivers and everyone's spending like $100 extra a week on parking, shower, and weight tickets, that's gonna be significant. So I'm gonna try to figure something out as I grow my business, but for now, that's just the way it is, I guess. I also bought a broom. My driver wanted to sweep out the trailer. I said, hey, that's awesome. You wanna keep the equipment clean? I'll buy you a broom, Amazon, $18, and a safety vest. So this was my mistake. In the very beginning, whenever I hired my driver, I should have had a brand new safety vest for him, but he got to a shipper and they wouldn't let him on site without a vest. So if you're thinking about hiring another driver, or if you're thinking about hiring a driver at all, I recommend just go to Amazon and get like a reflective safety vest and just kind of have that for every new driver that you hire. I'm gonna do that next time. I said I got an iPad for $40 a month. I also pay $10 a month for GPS. So that's the office supplies and software. The software is the Trucker Path GPS, and I don't know, I think my driver likes it. I've never used it because I've never driven a truck before, but he hasn't complained too much. What I do recommend, and I tell everybody this, is pair Apple Maps with the Trucker Path GPS. Apple Maps will optimize your route on the highway and let you know of any like crashes or construction, but the Trucker Path GPS will protect you when you go off the highway so you don't go under any low bridges or on any narrow roads. Registration fees. So I had to register my truck in May. I think that's standard, at least in Pennsylvania. Annual registration is due May 31st, so I had to re-register my truck, and it's all based on the miles you drove last year, but I didn't have my truck last year, so I just paid the standard registration fee, and that was like $1,500. So every year, just plan on spending between $1,500 and probably $2,000 a year to register your truck. And those like the apportioned plates. And just like you register your personal car, like you have to register your truck every single year. So I actually got really lucky in the month of May. I only had one maintenance issue, and that was a tire blowout. So I spent like $550 to repair one tire. I had to do it at a truck stop, so I obviously paid a premium, but I also returned like one piece of equipment. So I returned that for $250. So I got $250 back and I spent like $550. So all in all, my maintenance for the entire month of May was only $300. But with that, don't forget, you still need to budget for maintenance. And I always recommend 20% of the miles you drive. 20 cents per mile. Save that much money for maintenance. So even if you don't spend a penny this week on maintenance, you still want to calculate that into your cost per mile. Okay, so I already talked about the staffing agency, but I ended up paying them like $2,000 last month. So it comes out to be like $400 or $500 every single week. And that's killing me. I can't wait for that to go away. But interestingly, I recalculated my toll expense, and I'm actually paying like 10 cents per mile for tolls. I thought it was only going to be 5 cents per mile. Maybe it was 5 cents per mile for my box truck, but man, I guess I'm just doing more loads in Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Jersey, New York, but I'm getting crushed with these tolls. I'm spending 10 cents per mile. It looks like in May, I was even like $300 over 10 cents per mile. So I don't know. I've heard sometimes the Easy Pass can like charge you the wrong amount. I don't know if that's happening. That's going to take a lot of investigation. I'm not sure if I'm going to look into it that much, but these tolls are expensive. And the last thing is depreciation. So if you've listened to me before, I always talk about depreciation. A tractor lasts 3 years. A box truck lasts 5 years. So take the purchase price of the tractor or the purchase price of your box truck and divide it by either 60 or 36. And that is your monthly depreciation. So even if you spend $2,000 every single month on your loan payment, that's not the expense. You can capture the interest payment, so you have to split interest and principal every time you pay off your loan, and then you can also capture depreciation, either 1/60th of a box truck or 1/36th of a tractor. And I think a trailer depreciates over 5 years. So the tractor depreciates over 3 years and the trailer depreciates over 5 years. So every single month, I'm taking 65 divided by 36, 65,000 divided by 36, and I get like $1,000 of depreciation every single month. So all in all, with that being said, I am breaking even. As you can see the numbers on the screen here, this is my profit and loss, and I am positive $275, and that is terrible. I'm not going to be able to continue running my business profiting $200 or losing $1,000 or even profiting $1,000. Like, that's not how I want to run my business in the future. But just keep in mind right now, fuel prices are crazy high, like almost double, and we're just not getting paid as much to run freight. And also for me specifically, I'm using a staffing agent. So I'm gonna get away from the staffing agency no matter what after 6 months. My driver's been with me for 2 months, so I've got 4 more months of these staffing agency fees. And then hopefully gas prices go back somewhat to normal. So whenever those two things happen, I will be profitable. My profits will probably double or triple, and I'll hopefully be able to get more trucks. But for right now, I'm going to wait at least a couple months. I gotta wait to see what happens with the fuel prices, because I just can't justify getting another truck right now while I'm breaking even. I hope to in the future, but I just can't justify it right now.